Learn something new. Try something different. Convince yourself that you have no limits. Come with me as I take you on a journey of inspiration and ideas, where everything you can imagine is real. Because as they say, learning makes our soul grow.
Welcome to Fulcrum Homedecor. My name is Pallavi and I'm here to help you transform your spaces into a home. A very happy new year to each and every one of you. This is the first video of 2022. I hope the new year is treating you well and each of you are keeping safe, each of you are keeping healthy and also happy. Like every year, this year I wanted to start off by letting you know the inspiration that Fulcrum will be following for the entire year to design your homes. Last year, in the year 2021, I had shared with you that we at Fulcrum, we don't believe in following trends, so to speak, because trends, as the name suggests, it's a very short-term usage of a certain design, which at that point of time looks beautiful and it kind of you feel like everybody's homes on Pinterest look so beautiful, so I should make mine like that, and it follows the trend, and then very soon the trends kind of fade out or the trends change, and that then your home doesn't feel up to date, so to speak. So we at Fulcrum don't really believe, or I at Fulcrum don't really believe in following trends. What I do believe in is to understand the psychology or the theory behind the design suggestions that are being given by the global interior design community. And some of those ideas or some of the design suggestions that they give are based on on current situations, on current world situations, current world scenarios, and what is happening in everybody's lives. And our interiors need to suit, or they need to be in sync with the current conditions that we are all living in. So as we all know that most of us are working from home, a lot of us are spending time at home, we are stepping out wherever necessary, but we have also come to believe in the last 2 years that our homes are our sanctuaries, our homes are our paradise, our homes are a multifunctional space where we need to feel anchored, where we need to feel safe, where we need to feel protected and loved, and everything that is related to our mental and our physical health. So this year, even globally, or everybody is focusing on having spaces which are very personalized, which are very true to your style, or or the design of your home has to reflect what you feel the most comfortable with. So at Fulcrum, as we have done over the years, we will be following the same suggestion or the same rule of design, that the design trend for your project is you. So at Fulcrum, we have come up with a design philosophy that we will be following all through the year, which will help and aid each one of you design your homes, be it virtually through our design team sitting here and helping you, be it physically designing your homes in Pune, or even with consultancy that we will be offering to you. We are opening up a lot more areas with which we can connect with you and help you design your homes. So the design principle, the design philosophy that we intend to follow this year, in the year 2022, is the Zen design philosophy of interiors. We are looking to create spaces which are tranquil. We are looking to create spaces which aid positivity. We're looking to create spaces which aid relaxation. With the current world scene, if we have learned anything, is that your home is a space where you need to feel at peace. Be it in traditional form of design, be it Scandinavian form of design, be it modern form of design, be it mid-century form of design, anything that makes you feel zen, which makes you connect to your inner self, is the design philosophy that we will live for. So that is the basic idea that I can give you. You have heard me talk about minimalism for a very long time, for the past few years almost, and we have followed it in most of our projects. Now, minimalism is not a way in which you can devoid yourself or devoid your spaces of things that you like. It's on the contrary, minimalism is actually creating a space with things, thoughts, anything that actually means a lot to you. So we give space to meaningful things rather than clutter. That is the definition of minimalism for me. It could differ for everybody, but that is the sense that I follow when I design people's homes. So when you are working from home, when you're relaxing at home, when you're spending time with your family, if we are mentally and physically caught up in our circumstance, in our surrounding, to not be able to focus on what we are doing, then the interiors are not really aiding your lifestyle. So we understand your lifestyle, we understand your way of living, your requirements, your family's requirements, and then we create a space which gives a zen-like feeling. This doesn't mean in any sense that we will be making only white spaces or we will not be doing any color, not at all. So as I mentioned, that it is your design style which creates zen for you. So that is what we will be helping you achieve this year. So this year, to be able to achieve design, zen feeling, to be able to achieve a tranquil space, to be able to achieve a space which aids relaxation, which aids renewal of your physical and mental energy, there are a few things that we can follow, even if we are designing a new home, or we're giving our homes a makeover, or even if we are in our existing spaces. So I'm going to take you through these few points that I have in mind, which will help us achieve a sense of zen, a sense of grounding, a sense of peace in our spaces, be it any design style. The first thing that I wanted to focus on was floorings or kitchen counters or bathrooms. Now these all fall under the civil aspect of designing. And these are things that we don't change much in our homes. So in case, it is not necessary that you have to change every area, but in case you're designing a new home or you're giving us one of these spaces a makeover, the idea here is to use materials which make you feel very calm. The suggestion is to use stone, natural quartz, and even if you need to use vitrified tiles or any kind of artificial, so to speak, material, it is okay to go ahead with a look which creates a sense of calm and balance. If you can afford, then travertine is one of the stones which gives a very calming, very soothing and a very grounding effect to our minds. And it looks amazing with all kinds of interiors. Even if your interior is Scandinavian, your interiors are Indian, your interiors or you like a lot of modern interiors, you like a lot of rustic interiors, all the kind of interiors work very well with travertine stone. This can be used in bathrooms, this can be used in food, this can also be used in kitchen backsplashes. The next point I wanted to come to, which is the major part of what we do, is furniture design. So if you already have furniture, then obviously this doesn't apply to you. But if you're looking at makeover of your space, if you're looking to design your space, or even you can actually add a few things or subtract a few things from your space to make it suit uh, the grounding or the Zen style of design. So this year we will be using, and we suggest to for clients and you to use a lot of rounded edges. Now, the reason why this is happening is because when things are rounded and more flexible, not stark and straight line, which in itself is also beautiful. So that doesn't mean that your house is not zen if you have straight lines, not at all. But just to aid it a little bit more, we are suggesting to have rounded edges. This actually has a lot of mental psychology behind it, because when your spaces are rounded, your furniture is round, there is a lot of mental stress which automatically gets kind of away from you, or you don't feel that, because neither are you going to bump into something, or it's not sharp, it's not it kind of fits into the space very beautifully, and it doesn't stand out too much. So rounded edges in your sofas, tables, couches, even the edges of your furniture like consoles or beds, once they are rounded, they kind of somehow flow very beautifully without an interruption. And that subtly gives out a signal of a very tranquil space. The third thing to follow is using natural finishes. I think this is something that I mentioned even last year, that natural finishes or natural earthy materials are something that will anyways ground you, because it's very natural that anything which is related to nature is very peaceful. You always feel very calm when you're in nature. So of course we cannot create a jungle in our homes, but what we can do is have finishes on our furniture, on our fabrics, on our surfaces, which make you feel very connected to nature. So using wooden finishes. Now of course wooden finishes can come in a lot of different colors and textures and feel. But this year, if you want to keep yourself very mentally or create a very zen kind of look in your space, then it is best to go ahead with lighter wooden finishes. Lighter wooden finishes, they don't absorb too much light. They give you a sense of reflecting light that makes your mood very uplifting during the day. So it aids you working, it aids you doing anything during the day, and it just gives your mind a very fresh, clean kind of a feel. So having light wood finishes, you can use laminates if you cannot afford a wooden piece, because I understand that wood in itself is quite expensive. But using wooden finish laminates, using wooden finish flooring, again in very lighter pastel, light wooden texture, is another way of adding a lot of zen and calm to your space. Now using natural materials like hemp, like cotton, like linen, like hand woven stuff. These are all fabrics and materials which are derived out of nature. They have a beautiful quality of imparting a natural feel, a very sustainable feel to your homes. They are extremely long lasting, so obviously you don't have to change things very often. That's again another stress which is removed, and they are very timeless. So a beautiful linen cushion cover, or a beautiful linen bedspread, or beautiful linen sofa coverings will never go out of trend. It is always going to be. So your home will always feel beautiful and trendy and calm if these kind of finishes are used. The fourth thing, and I think this is one thing that I feel is very important to a lot of us, is color. Now, Zen interiors doesn't mean that we can devoid our spaces, or we kind of completely do away with color. So Zen doesn't mean having white blank spaces. That is more of a Japanese style of design. which is also very beautiful. And if that resonates with you, then more power to you, and that is exactly what we should do. But if you are a person who loves color, how do we create a zen space with color? So color in its natural form is very beautiful. When you derive colors from nature, they in itself create a very tranquil effect in your space. So if you pull out the primary colors from nature, which are brown oranges or greens or blues, they in itself will give you, and they're used in the natural raw form, not in the addition form. So what I mean by that is, so when you're using say greens, if you use green in the color of moss, the color of grass, the color of the beautiful green color that comes across in trees and plants, it is very easily able to give you a tranquil space. If you want to go on towards the lightest shade, you can go ahead with pale and sage green rather than a very bright green, because this has a calming effect on your senses. You can use all these colors in your headboards, in your couches, in your tapestry, in your upholstery, so that color is used very well. Keeping everything else neutral and adding this pop of color can make your mood very uplifting. It can make you feel very rejuvenated. So that again is something that we are trying to achieve. If you like brighter colors, then you can use a lot of terracotta color, which in itself, when we, terracotta, that mitti feel that we have when we have that in India, how the feel that we get when it rains, I somehow always associate terracotta with that. So it's literally like the earth, you feel so earthy, you feel so beautiful with the natural terracotta color and terracottas and browns. So adding these flash of colors here and there looks very beautiful, and it is very calming to a space. On the other side of the spectrum are blues. So of course the ocean blue, the bluish green that is there, or even the midnight dark blue color of the sky and the ocean. It has an extremely calming effect. If you ever stand and stare at the sky, which is a dark blue color, you will suddenly be very indrawn to your senses, just calm down. So the colors of nature are extremely powerful, and we should be using them to give us that power and to give that kind of effect to our surroundings. So these would be the colors which we are also going to be using, and I will be showing you a lot of this in my projects and how we have used these colors, so that you get an idea about how much or how little or how sparingly or how we can splash these in our spaces and still create a very zen look. The fifth aspect is lighting. Now, lighting is extremely important for us. It's a very basic requirement that all of us have to use in our homes. So it can make your space very cold, or it can also make your space very warm if not used correctly. Now, for general lighting, we require a lot of daylight kind of light, which is necessary for us to perform our normal day-to-day duties and work or read or work in the kitchen or in the washroom, any kind of place. You require natural daylight. Now, there is a difference between that. There are three kinds of lights that we have. One is white, one is daylight, and one is yellow. So all these years we've always mistaken the white light to actually be the primary color that we should be using. If you push a little bit towards the daylight, that is the most soothing form of light that you can use. It is not harsh to your eyes. So also when you're placing these lights, don't have tube lights which are directly giving a glare. Have them in a format, like either you can put them in the ceiling in LED format so that there is a little bit of diffusion and yet brightness, or you can put them behind pelmets like I've shown you in many of my videos. So those are ways in which the light, the daylight, can still be carried forward till the evening, till the time that you need it to be. And if you were to create a space which is very cozy, very relaxing and very just calming your senses down at the end of the day, then obviously using yellow light is a great option. And again, these lights also can come in different forms. They can come in focus light forms, they can come in diffuse light forms. Now, focus light forms are not a way in which you create relaxation. That is when you want to create a focus towards a certain art piece or towards a certain space, and that has a different effect altogether. But if you have diffused light like table lamps or wall sconces near your bed, you can even have floor lights as lighters. These lights, which they're not too jarring and they're not focused on a certain area, create a very soothing and a calming environment in your homes. The sixth thing that we focus on while we are designing is the wall finishes. A part of it has been covered in the color aspect, but when I say wall finishes, you must have seen, not last year but year before last, we were using a lot of wallpaper and a lot of patterns on the walls, so to speak. That is in itself a very beautiful aspect, and I'm not saying to do away with what you have, but if you're installing new wallpaper or if you're planning to give your walls a different kind of feel, it is best to go ahead with the natural looking wall. Now, using paint is one of the beautiful ways in which, and it's also sustainable many times because you get a lot of eco-friendly paint these days. It's easier to be done. It's also very cheap. So use paint on your walls to highlight them rather than any external addition to your walls. You can leave them raw. The raw brick finish looks beautiful. That again gives you a very earthy and a calming feel. Of course, these are all suggestions for different kind of interiors. So I cannot expect a very glamorous modern house to have a raw finished wall. But a modern glamorous house can still have very soft finishes on the wall. Now, another way to do it is that we use a lot of velvet finish paint in our projects. So there is just enough light absorption by the paint, and it feels very smooth to the hands. And I feel that that is one thing that we don't pay so much attention to while painting. We just like the color and it should look nice. But the finish, when it's smooth, it somehow gives you a very cozy and a very relaxed feel to your space. You can also go ahead with texture paints, mud kind of a texture or a marble texture paint. That is also something that you can try. And if you want to opt for wallpapers, a beautiful addition that we will also be making this year to some of our projects is to add botanicals, like adding tropical or botanical wallpapers. If your interiors are eclectic or you like a lot of vibrant colors, they can also make your space feel very beautiful, because that will become one focal area of your room and everything else kind of sits in silence, because that has a lot of drama going on, and that can still be very zen for your spaces. So I think I've touched all the points that are necessary for this year to create a zen space, the kind of wall finishes that you can use. The seventh thing, or the seventh aspect of design, is art and decor. Now, art is it's a very personalized expression of what you believe in, and this is something that I feel that we as designers and a lot of times the clients, we believe that let us just put a painting and it should be, colors match kar dete and that should be fine. But that's not really what art does. So I suggest that this year you take the time to pick out your art, to decide what you would like to see. This is a piece that should speak to you. This is a piece that is going to resonate with your thoughts, with what you believe in. So art is something that either, I'm not saying that you have to buy a commissioned big art piece. I mean, great if you can do that. If not, even if you are going ahead with a print, make sure that you choose something that is, it's not just blending into your interior, it has to, of course, be in sync with what you are planning in your room. But it needs to speak to you. It needs to make you feel something. And that is how we should be choosing art. Because in a Zen, if you want to be very indrawn, if you want to have a lot of peace around you, all the pieces of your home need to have an impact of peace and tranquility and relaxation on you. And that is why personalized interiors are extremely important. The other thing that we focus on, where I feel that's like the jewelry, what jewelry does to us, to women when they get dressed, and if you don't have any jewelry, you feel that you're not feeling complete. So decor pieces are literally like that for a woman. Now most of the times we wear what we have, but most women I have seen, they're very particular. If it's an Indian outfit, you wear an Indian jewelry. If it's a Western outfit, you will be wearing a Western jewelry. That's the same thing with interiors. So the artifacts, the decor pieces that you use have to be in tandem with your interiors. They have to provoke a certain feeling inside you. That is the whole sense of minimalism, that you have two pieces, but you have meaningful pieces. You have 5 pieces, you have meaningful pieces. It doesn't matter what number you want to put. You can have a wall, or you can have a cabinet which is full of things and not have any meaning to it. And some people, they treasure each and every piece that they have. So the idea is that these pieces have to talk to you. If they are in natural materials like ceramic, terracotta, stone, they themselves have such an impact in a space, or wood for that matter. They have such an impact in a space that you don't need to use too much. You can just use that piece and create a lot of emphasis. You can create a lot of power in that space. That kind of gives a lot of a zen feeling. Suddenly, when you have a lot of earthy pieces, when you have a lot of natural material, when you enter a space, you will find yourself suddenly calming down. And that is exactly what Zen interiors is all about. So again, you can use them in raw natural colors like terracotta, off-white, beige, black, brown, wood in its natural form, rather than getting the woods polished in darker colors and adding stains to it. The best is to use them in their natural form and just apply a coat which kind of protects the wood, but let the natural thing breathe and emit that kind of energy to your space. The eighth and the last thing that I think I always sum up all my videos with this is, of course, to bring the nature in. Now, this year, honestly speaking, there is a lot of mixed kind of design styles that are being used, and people are liking to go maximum. Now, maximalism is the opposite of minimalism. But if you go to see, there is a certain group who has actually brought out the reason of maximalism. Maximalism can also be termed as a space which has things that have a lot of meaning to you. So as I said, that if you have a chest of drawer with a lot of frames on it with family pictures, that in itself is quite maximum. If you go by the general term that too many things means maximalism, but that evokes joy. Looking at your family pictures makes you feel good, makes you feel comfortable, makes you feel connected. Then that is something that we should do. That doesn't mean that because you're a minimalist, we need to have just 2 frames. It's completely the opposite of that. It is anything that sparks joy, anything that creates a sense of belonging, a sense of calm inside you is what minimalism is all about. So maximalism trends have also uses extreme amount of plants, which is what I was coming to, the usage of natural greenery in your home. Now, there are a lot of schools of thoughts about it. Now, natural greens, they anyways have a good effect on your health and things like that. Some people mention that they are not good in your bedrooms, only certain plants. If you go to see what the experts or people who have studied about plants have to say about it. It's not that big a deal, and it is you can have a lot of plants around you because it actually elevates your mood, and the amount of CO2 emissions are very less and things like that. However, I don't want to get into that aspect. The look and the beauty aspect of plants, or what plants do to our psychology. Now, plants just make your space feel alive. I feel that anything. Now, since we're looking at having so many earthy things in our space. These are all things that make you very grounded, make you very they make you feel centered. But when you add plants to the mix, they are living beings. They almost feel like a companion. So your space doesn't feel cold. Your space feels warmer. Your space feels, you have someone. Someone is there in the room. Something is breathing along with you. And that is the feeling that plants evoke in me. I have a host of plants in my home. So that is why I would suggest having plants. Now, short plants or tall plants or tabletop plants or succulent, that is a complete choice, and I feel that following trends or whatever plant is trendy on Pinterest, that's really not the way I would go. Any plant that you can maintain, any plant that talks to you is the plant that you should have, because with plants they require care, they require attention, and if you are able to give that to as many number of plants, then it's great. Because I know that when you start loving plants and you see yellow leaves, that creates stress. At least in me, many times it happens, and I've heard people talk about it. And when the plant is dying, you kind of feel a little low. So try to have plants which don't require that so much of maintenance, and just be in a sweet spot of how much you can maintain. Just because having plants makes your space feel zen, so let us have as many plants. Even if it is one plant and you are maintaining it, you are able to take care of it, it can be added at a strategic point in the room where it creates a beautiful, it looks beautiful, it creates a beautiful space around, is a great addition to your homes. And very soon you realize that you don't really need many accessories when there are so many plants in the room. So these were my 8 suggestions or 8 ways in which you can add or subtract things from your current interiors, or you can do these 8 things in your new homes, in your interior projects that you're working on, or your makeover of your spaces, to make them feel very zen-like, to make them very tranquil, to make them very relaxing, and to feel at peace and at ease with your spaces. So this year you will be seeing a lot more videos from us. I am really hoping that I can be here with you every week and fix a time that you can come onto the channel and see some videos and inspire you to create a space a space that talks to you, a space that makes you feel very tranquil and relaxed, and you don't feel so bogged up or affected by world situations. Your space, your homes have to be designed, have to reflect your thoughts, your priorities, your culture, and your thinking. And I am here to help you do that. I'm here to help all my clients do that. If you happen to be in Pune and you require my assistance, I will just be happy to help you with the same. So definitely get in touch. Every detail is mentioned in the description box below. And if you can't find anything, there's a WhatsApp number. Just WhatsApp us with what you need, and I will be there to help you with that. This year, I do plan to launch short consultancy sessions where or short Q&A session. So if you have any questions regarding design, I can address that. If we can have Zoom calls together, so that I can see your space and tell you what you can do. So we will be launching a few of these things. We are hoping to do that. We are working on our website very intensively, where you can shop the products that you need, and all of that will be available on our website. So definitely, if you're looking for something like that, check that out. We are also revamping a little bit of our YouTube channel, so that we have a lot more shorter versions of stuff. So subscribe to the channel, because unless you subscribe to it, it's not going to reach you or anyone. And please do share this video if you feel that it had anything worthwhile for you and it is going to help anyone else. We are also working on our Pinterest, where I am compiling design ideas. I'm compiling pictures of different styles which help you understand what is the kind of home you want, what is the kind of design style that you feel so happy and comfortable with, and you like your dream home to be. So it will help you channelize your designs in that area. So you can stay tuned and follow us on that as well. And finally, our Instagram, we worked very hard last year to get the page organized and have everything. We're still doing a lot of work with that, and we're hoping that this year we will be able to share more content with you there as well. So that is something I would love for you to follow and be a part of our family, so that you can see stories. And I promise to be on Instagram more this year, so to talk to you, to share with you, to give you updates about what I am doing, and so I will see you there. And yeah, that sums up this video, which has been a very long one, I'm sure, but I hope it was helpful. Leave me a comment telling me what you think. What is your response, if you have any questions, and if you have any suggestions for us of how we can connect back with you. So thank you, a big thank you, lots of gratitude for being here, for each one of you. Even if this video gets 10 views, 100 views, 4,000 views, I am extremely grateful for each one of you to be here, and each of your suggestions are welcome with an open heart. So stay tuned, and we will see you very soon.